All I ever learned as a kid was have fun. As a teen, you mad drugs. In my 20s, I'm just smoking bud and showing mad love. 30s time to shack up, and it's all downhill at 40 plus, and that sucks. That's life. Giving you receiving, that's right. I was giving her the business, she receiving that pie. Moving like a plumber, yeah, was a full one last night. I put 5 on it, wrote a paper plane to cash fly. See, many of these women think they could be cold, but that's live. Melting hearts and other body parts like some of that's eyes. Hit it front or back side, bust on stomach, ass twice. Man, I'm savage in that pussy. I don't have to act nice. Only rocking black, white. I'm a trendsetter, bedwetter in between the legs. Never messing with her head. Only getting brain ahead from a super season endeavor. Welcome back, baby. I know it's early. I know it's Monday. I know. But you're going to get your head off that pillow. You're going to get up. You're going to go out there. You're going to fucking work. You're going to work this week, and you're going to make it your bitch because you're a One More Round Fights fan. And you make it to Friday. You make it to Saturday. All right? I'm the host of this here channel. My name's Gav. I do this shit every single day of the week. On Sundays, I give you live chats. On Mondays, I give you matchmakers. On Tuesdays, I give you TKOs. On Wednesdays, I give you hump day. On Fridays, I give you CPU unit simulations, and we watch the fights on Saturdays, baby. I give you a full fight week. I give you guys MMA and boxing tips, picks, parlays, tricks, you know, all that shit. And I'm back again, baby, because it is Monday, March 23rd, 2026, and we got a matchmake for 2 events. Guys, we had 2 events go down. We had PFL Madrid. We had UFC London. Plenty of shakeups. Fights that probably shouldn't have even happened, so we're going to matchmake them appropriately. Okay? Plenty of things that can go down. But first and foremost, please, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, scan that QR code there. That'll subscribe you to the YouTube. Yeah. It'll make you a better person the second you click that thing that says SUBSCRIBE. Okay? Second you do that, your life instantaneously gets better. You start making money out of nowhere. People hit you up that you haven't been hit up before. People just start giving you gifts. It's a wonderful thing. I'm telling you, subscribe to the channel. Your life will change for the better. And if you still haven't, go fuck yourself. All right. Go ahead and follow on social as well. One More Round Fights everywhere. One More Round FA on X. Fuck you, Elon. You little bitch. It's your character limit on X. Why can't I have One More Round Fights on X, Elon? That's your fault. That's fucking your fault, Elon. All right. So One More Round Fights everywhere except for X because Elon's a little baby bitch. All right. And also follow our other channels that we operate on. Main Card Minute. You could catch me put in belt to ass over there. Ask my former opponents how it went. Okay? Ask them how it went. Send your wins into onemoreroundfights@gmail.com. That's onemoreroundfights@gmail.com. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. We don't have a lot of time, but we got 2 freaking events to get through. Okay, that's right. I said 2 events to get through. So without further ado, let's get through our matchmaking updates. Okay, let's make, real quick. We mentioned these yesterday. Let's just brush through them again just to make sure everybody has these on their radar. All right, Max Holloway wanting that Conor McGregor fight for his comeback. He said, sign me up. We know Conor has been clamoring for it on the sideline, saying that he beats either of those guys when that BMF belt was going down. So hopefully that fight gets booked. We could see that rematch. If it doesn't, it is what it is. I never expected Conor to come back anyways. Alexander Volkanovski responds to Movsar Evloev after his win. Movsar Evloev saying he wants this title shot booked before he gets too old. And Volk, being an old man himself, old man Volk responding, bringing down the old reading glasses. He goes, "Bring it on, son." All right, so Volk's down. I hope this fight happens by the end of 2026. I hope no injuries, no nothing, no politics, no bullshit slows this fight down like we've seen fights get slowed down before. He's the clear number one contender. He had a performance proving so. Let's get him in there finally. It's okay. It's okay if 5 of our fucking 8 belts end up in the Slavic region. It's fine. It's fine, okay? As long as the best fighters fight the best, I don't care who has it. Okay, didn't the Brazilians have the belts for like fucking 6 years or some shit? Man, it is what it is, bro. Stop being a bitch. All right? Light heavyweight Modestas Bukauskas and Rodolfo Bellato have agreed to meet in a UFC Vegas 117 card. That is May 16th at the Meta Apex in Las Vegas. Okay, so anybody that's fans of those two guys, I can imagine in this chat there would be, but anybody that's fans of those two guys, yeah, May 16th, UFC Vegas 117. Brendan Allen gets a big middleweight matchup against Edmund Shabazian. I guess actually Edmund Shabazian gets a big middleweight matchup with Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen kind of accepting a perplexing fight because Edmund Shabazian nowhere near him in the rankings. He has now cracked the top 5. This was a weird booking to me for Brendan Allen. I mean, you just did all this great work, beat this guy at the top to take somebody much lower than you. Interesting. But they will be fighting at UFC Vegas 118. That is headlined by Muhammad versus Bonfim on June 6th. And last but not least, Michel Pereira resigns with the UFC. He books a fight with Shara Bullet Magomedov. That'll be June 27th. Okay. And Caio Borralho, leader of the Fighting Nerds, looks to return against DDP, Dricus du Plessis, former UFC middleweight champ. And he believes that he's on the doorstep for a title shot with a win over a guy like that. And that's all I have for you guys on Matchmaking Updates. Okay. But the real reason we're here, baby, the whole reason we pull up on this fine Monday before Morning Combat and Ariel and all those other shows start, because you already caught my live chat yesterday. I basically recapped the week yesterday. All right. So if you pull up on Sundays, if you're yearning for a little something, some news, some talking about MMA on Sunday, something that none of these other guys give, one more round fights got you. Come over here on Sundays. All right. We chat, we talk, we recap. We do all the things. We even do a little matchmaking. We give you the schedule for the upcoming week. We do a lot of things. Come over here on Sunday. All right. But without further ado, let's get into matchmaking for UFC London. Oh, yeah. Let's start at the top, shall we? I mean, we gave you guys the initial start of who we thought should be matchmade here. But UFC London was headlined by Movsar Evloev defeating Lerone Murphy via majority decision, 48-46, 48-46, 47-47. And guys, bitch, you guessed it. Title shot. Title shot. Look at these rankings and tell me that this man doesn't deserve a win after that. Look at it. Do you see it? Do you see it right here? Do you see him right under the champion? You see him, right? This is the champ, right? This old-looking dude right there, that's the champ. And that's the guy that just won on Saturday. That's Movsar Energy. Just kidding. Movsar Evloev. Okay? Title shot. I don't want to hear anything else. Diego Lopez just fought for the belt. Lerone Murphy just lost. Yair Rodriguez hasn't fought in a year. Aljamain Sterling still needs a win. Gene Silva still needs a win. Yusuf Zalal still needs a win. Arnold Allen needs a win. There's only one person there, people. And if you say any fucking name but Movsar Evloev, I'm going to give you an address to go to, and I'm going to bitch smack you across your face. It's Movsar Evloev. That's it. Okay? That is it. You say anything at featherweight, and we're going to put the gloves on, brother. We're going to put the gloves on, because what the fuck are you even talking about? We are going to put the gloves on if you say anything but Movsar Evloev. That is the only name I would like to hear at featherweight. Okay? Everybody else has removed themselves from candidacy. It is only number one versus champion. What is right? Everything else is wrong. Okay? Everything else is wrong. As for Lerone Murphy, I mean, one of those names sounds perfect, right? Didn't I say one of those guys needs a fight? Didn't I say one of those guys hasn't fought in over a year? Yair, we need you, buddy. We need you. Yair Rodriguez, Lerone Murphy sounds like a banger to me. Sounds like a banger to me. Sounds delicious. I need that. I don't care if it's in the US. I don't care if it's in Mexico. I don't care if it's in the UK. I don't care if it's in Barbados. I don't care if it's in Antarctica. I don't care if it's fucking Greenland. I don't give a fuck, dude. Give me that. I need Yair to come back. And if Yair's not coming back against Lerone Murphy, well, then Gene Silva just got passed up for a title shot. And if you could beat one of the guys that if he won, he would have got a title shot, Gene Silva, Lerone Murphy, damn, that sounds good too. That sounds good. I need that. One of those two matchups is the only thing I need. I need top 5 energy. Even though Gene Silva's sitting at 6, I know y'all see him sitting in that 6 spot right there. Oh, wrong mouse. Right there. Sixers. You know, it just makes sense to me. I need me some of that. I need me some of that Lerone Murphy, Gene Silva goodness. If Yair is just playing the waiting game or planning to fight Diego Lopez or whatever the game plan is, I need one of those two matchups. All 3 of those matchups make sense for featherweight. Okay, and that's all I'll say on that. All right, moving on. We still got a lot to matchmake for, okay? Next, we have Luke Riley versus Michael Aswell via unanimous decision. I have a couple names. For Luke Riley. Now, appease me here if you can. Oh, shit, I'm missing out on the chat. Hold up, my back chat. My bizzle whizzle chat. Dr. Ned Cashew in this house. All right, let's make some matches. Oh, we're on a roll, baby. Cosmos says, yo, there is nobody else. Thank you, Dr. Ned Cashew. Morning, gents, says Cavmo. And then Cosmos thrown up that New Zealand flag. And what is that, Croatia? I can't see. Dr. Ned Cashew says they should finally make Yair versus Lopez. Yeah, if they don't give him to Lerone Murphy, then give him to Yair and then make the Gene Silva Lerone Murphy. You feel me? Hey, good morning. What up, Joseph Hall? Gene versus Lerone 5-round main event at the world famous Zuckerberg Arena. Ew, the Meta Apex, but it does make sense. Yeah, don't worry, I'm here. We got you, Meat Rocky. We got you. We're only matchmaking for the second fight so far on UFC London. And we got Jamal Emmers or Sean Woodson. Hear me out. Now, Jamal Emmers been hanging around for a while over at featherweight. I believe this was featherweight fight. So been hanging around there for a while, featherweight, getting solid wins, sometimes turning back some guys. He's good striking, fantastic grappling. He's good wrestling. He'll test Luke Riley in a couple different ways because Michael Aswell tested him on the feet. Bogdan Grad tested him on the feet, but then couldn't really test him on the ground. I feel like Jamal Emmers will be able to do that. And if not, Sean Woodson can test him on the ground and the feet. He's one of the longest featherweights out there, so he'll test Riley to see if he can handle some of those weird body types at featherweight, as is Jamal Emmers. Jamal Emmers is very long for featherweight as well. So I feel like this would be a solid test, a good solid next step up for Luke Riley if we give him one of those guys, Jamal Emmers or Sean Woodson. I feel like we should slow play this. I know he's 13-0 now. Got himself a decision, so didn't get the knockout. Both of these guys would be on the harder end to knock out. Still able to knock out, so if he's able to pass the test, he is able to do so in flying colors. But I think Jamal Emmers or Sean Woodson at featherweight used to be solid. And then it's a Russian flag, says me Rocket. My bad, I missed that. And then the Kemo says Emmers used to be sick in LFA. I was at his fight versus Sandhagen. He won that fight too. Yeah, see, so I feel like Jamal Emmers would be a solid next step up. And neither of those guys have a fight booked. So one of those guys versus Luke Riley. And then a little bit of lazy matchmaking here, but matchmaking that does make sense. Danny Silva had a fantastic win earlier on the card. I believe him and Michael Aswell would be a solid matchup. Michael Aswell proving that he could hang with somebody with heavy hands. We saw Danny Silva display his very heavy hands. And both of these guys have a really strong resolve to get to the final bell. And they put on a banger matchup, just like Michael Aswell did here with Luke Riley. So I think Danny Silva, Michael Aswell would be a solid next matchup. A little lazy, but honestly pretty perfect. Pretty perfect. At welterweight, let's finally matchmake this guy in a not dog shit matchup, huh? Unfortunately for us, a lot of people are booked right now. A lot of people are booked right now. Fortunately for us, two names make a hell of a lot of sense. One name that people might not like because he's kind of going back into that same realm. I don't know how much they've trained together. I don't know how much they've seen of each other, but I'd love to see this matchup because we kind of have to we have to make somebody eat a name. A name has to rise and a name has to fall. And one of these names has steadily been falling, and one of these names deserves to rise. And they're both Englishmen, but I think Michael Venom Page versus Leon Rocky Edwards kind of needs to happen. We're figuring out who our top English guy is recently. You know, we have the Mick Parkin, Tom Aspinall debate. We have the Sam Patterson, Michael Venom Page debate just got figured out. It wasn't too much of a debate though. And now we just got to figure out who's the best in England. Okay, Michael Venom Page, Leon Rocky Edwards. I know he doesn't want to fight friends, but I don't really think they're friends. I don't think they're really training partners like that. I could be mistaken, but I would like that matchup just to figure it out. And if I'm talking crazy, then fuck it. Give us a banger. Give us a guy who just made a crazy name for himself and who just got a highlight reel knockout, and let Michael Venom Page get a chance at a highlight reel knockout because I believe this guy has been knocked out before. Let me just double check that fact before I say his name. Yes, this man has been knocked out before and not too long ago. He was knocked out in 2025 by somebody. I think this is a fantastic opportunity for a welterweight to make a name of himself. I think Michael Venom Page should fight Uros Medic. Uros Medic coming off 3 straight knockouts. Gilbert Urbina, Muslim Salikov, Jeff Neal. They're on similar timelines. Michael Venom Page needs somebody that'll scare him a little bit, that'll give him a reason to knock him back out, and that will honestly not give us a boring fight for Michael Venom Page. We need Uros Medic and Michael Venom Page. That's the real fight. That's the real fight Michael Venom Page needs next. Uros Medic, Michael Venom Page. I think that's the only fight. That fight makes so much fucking sense. It almost hurts my loins right now, especially since Uros Medic is now going to be solidly putting himself among the top 15ers after beating up Jeff Neal like that. Michael Venom Page has always been talked about in the top 15, or it should be there. If he's not already, let's take a look at the rankings just to verify these audacious claims. Let's look at welterweight. We're seeing Uros Medic at 12 and Michael Venom Page at 13. Look at that. Look how sexy that matchmaking just was. Makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. I was also thinking about a Gilbert Burns matchup, but I feel like I don't want to see that boring grappler striker matchup again for Michael Venom Page, so I ended up leaving that one out. But yeah, Michael Venom Page, Uros Medic. That's what I need. I like Emmers, St. Louis Snipers is Cosmo Kramer. And then Woodson is built like those critters from Men in Black. Feed MVP to Torres Finney. Stop. Torres Finney's probably out till next year anyways with that knee injury. And the MVP probably KOs Uros, who will actually throw shots at MVP, right? Me Rocket. So that's perfect matchmaking right there. Fun matchmaking, not boring fight your friends matchmaking. Okay. Torres Finney's far too aggressive for MVP. Stop it, me Rocket. And as for Sam Patterson, I think I cooked with this one. You ready? You're not. This is a name you're not thinking of, but this is a name that should absolutely drop a bell off in your head with, like, actually, that does make a lot of sense. Themba Garimbo. I know. You're probably like, what? but think about it. Themba Garimbo, bro. Think about how much sense this makes. Two long, weird guys for the division, guys that kind of turn back a lot of guys, but kind of lose to the better guys of the division. Um, Themba Garimbo on a 2-fight losing streak failed the test of fighting Vicente Luque and Jeremiah Wells. One grappler, one striker. Lost to the grappler and Luque got anaconda choked. Lost to the striker and Wells. Another grappling test, and Sam Patterson would be solid. Somebody that they could both hang on the feet with each other. And Sam Patterson gets to face a grappler now. Okay, because Sam Patterson just got the striking test, failed it miserably, but his grappling is obviously his bread and butter, his strong point. So let's see if Themba Garimbo, who's obviously a really good wrestler, could put him on his back and make him work. I feel like Sam Patterson, Themba Garimbo is a solid stay busy matchup for both guys. Themba Garimbo, Sam Patterson. Okay. Moving on. Iwo Baraniewski defeats Austen Lane via TKO punches, round 1, 28 seconds. This man took him out so fast at light heavyweight. Again, Austen Lane moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight. Not a lot of water in that brain. What is this? His 6th knockout and 7 losses or something? I think we know what to do with him. So I'm going to get that out of the way. We're going to cut Austen Lane. See you in the PFL, brother. There's plenty of I could see you fighting Rodrigo Nascimento over there, Jose Augusto over there, Abraham Babley over there. Mad matchups, Austen Lane. But we done with the UFC, brother. We done with the UFC, and you're not going to one. One will fucking send you to hell. Okay, we need you over in the PFL. You know, just chopping it up, taking people down, using your 6'7" frame. We'll see you in the PFL, bud. We're cutting you from the UFC. But for Iwo Baraniewski, I kind of see a solid matchup. Somebody that, looked pretty good in their last fight. Somebody that'll test them in the striking and won't just get knocked out real quick, but can be knocked out. So it'll be a solid test for them to pass with flying colors. A former kickboxer, somebody that fought Poatan in the past. I think somebody that needs another young test to just make sure their chin is where it needs to be for this division. What about if we gave Iwo Baraniewski a crack at the top 15 of light heavyweight with Dustin Jacoby? What about Iwo Baraniewski taking on Dustin Jacoby? Dustin Jacoby now in the top 15 at light heavyweight. You could see him down here in the 14 spot. All right. Recently just got there. I would like a chance for Baraniewski to get a chance to jump in that top 15 without getting too high of a name. Dustin Jacoby feels right. Guys like Krylov, guys like Rakic who don't have a fight booked, they seem a little bit too high of a matchup for a guy like that. But Dustin Jacoby feels like a good middle range for him, So I feel like Dustin Jacoby, Iwo Baraniewski is a solid matchup that could be booked next. It wouldn't be too crazy for either guy. So Sam Patterson versus black guys, says Louis Bond. Hey, it's not a racist thing, man. I'm just thinking Sam Patterson, Themba Garimbo, get him up out of 2 grapplers, let him go at it. That did make me go, what? Says Louis Bond. 2 long, weird guys, The Rock's favorite fighter, Themba Garimbo. Yeah, give him Sam Patterson, bro. That would be 4 in a row. And then I still think Patterson is a pretty good fighter. And so is Themba Garimbo, even though Themba Garimbo lost his last 2. So a chance for Sam Patterson to get back on the winning track against a guy like Themba Garimbo, me Rocket. Why not? Please don't cut Lane. Why, Louis Bond? Why would you not cut Lane? Let's look at Austen Lane's record real quick. Let's just look at it. Just to I know he has that 1 win over Rebellas to Spain, but brother, that is the only win in his last 7 fights. He had the no contest with Justin Tafa, lost to Justin Tafa by KO, lost to Jonata Denise by KO, decisioned Rebellas to Spain, then lost to Mario Pinto by KO, lost to Vito Petrino by sub. So every single one of his losses was a finish as well. So he's been finished in 5 of his last 6 fights and hasn't had a win in the UFC yet. He has a 1 win on Dana White's Contender Series back in 2022. We got to cut the guy. We got to cut him. I was about to say maybe don't cut him, and then I was like, no, we have to cut him. What the fuck was that? I just read it off. The MVP versus Uro matchup I liked, right? I like that one. Doesn't seem like a layup. Iwo fight versus Justin Jacoby. And then Sam Patterson, the Drew Dober of Britain. Stop. I just feel bad for Lane. Go back to heavyweight and get finished one more time. What do you mean? How do you feel bad for him if you want him to get finished one more time? If you want him to do well, send him to the PFL and fight somebody like a Rodrigo Nascimento who will go to decision almost certainly. You know, I still believe in Lane. Let's sign him up another 8-fight contract. Stop. And totally forgot he beat Robelis, right? And now Robelis is killing people in freaking karate combat. Don't send Austen Lane to karate combat either. He needs to grapple. We need him in the PFL. We need him in the PFL. Moving on to our next matchup. Let's talk about it. Christian Leroy Duncan defeats Roman Dolidze via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Jared Cannonier is the ultimate middleweight test. Okay? The ultimate middleweight test is Jared Cannonier. Okay? And Christian Leroy Duncan has failed this type of test before. All right? He's faced Arman Petrosian, lost that. All right? Like the fucking easy version of a middleweight journeyman. All right? Then he faced Gregory Rodriguez, failed that test. The medium version of a middleweight journeyman. And now he's going to have to face Jared Cannonier because he has 4 wins in a row against Andre Puliev, Eric Anders, Marco Tulio, and now Roman Dolidze. And guess what? If you look at the rankings, in which we still have here, take yourself a nice, honest gander there in that middle position. You see Jared Cannonier sitting at 10, Roman Dolidze at the 11. You got to think that Christian Leroy Duncan's going to hop just under him after this. It would be a perfect 10 versus 11 matchup. Okay? So Christian Leroy Duncan, Jared Cannonier, he don't got no fight booked. Book it. As for Roman Dolidze, not the best showing, but a fantastic third round. All right. Let's bring up a name that we haven't heard in a while for our boy Roman Dolidze. A little throwback at middleweight. How about Abus Magomedov? Roman Dolidze. Send 2 boring grapplers in there. One of them that could actually have some hands and make Dolidze fight. Abus Magomedov. He ain't going to let Dolidze hold him down. That's going to be on the feet. That is going to be on the feet, ladies and gentlemen. Abus Magomedov, Roman Dolidze. And if you're not familiar with his game, allow me to familiarize you with our boy Abus Magomedov. Let me just go to his wiki. Oh, God, I went on the wrong fucking page. All right, I'm still here. I was typing in the wrong thing. Abus. I typed it in on the wrong fucking laptop like a dumbass. Abus Magomedov. Oh, shit. Clicked the wrong thing. Check out our guy real quick. I know he's 35. I know. He's coming off the loss to Joe Pyfer. Was on a 3-fight win streak before that. Fought the best of the division. Caio Borralho, Sean Strickland. Your Joe Pyfers. You know, he's fought those types of guys before. This would be a solid next matchup for Roman Dolidze. It's not like he's out of his element facing Roman Dolidze. You know what I mean? He's been there before. He's fought those types of guys. So I'd love to see Roman Dolidze, Abus Magomedov. You guys let me know what you think of that matchup. Let's move on. Robelis rematch at Karate Combat. Lane would obliterate Robelis in karate. Stop. Abus, says Dr. Nick Gashu. And then Adelaide emojis from Lazy. What up, Lazy? What up, Octopus? He says, sup, crew. All right, moving on to our next match up. We have Danny Silva and Curtis Campbell. He defeated Curtis Campbell via TKO punches round 2, 31 seconds. I already did this for Danny Silva. We have Michael Aswell, similar timelines, guys that'll fight each other, go to the end, some grit. Well, we know we're going to get a good fight out of those 2 guys. So Michael Aswell and Danny Silva, we did that already. This next guy, I'd like to matchmake with another guy that I'm not quite sure on. This guy fought in his, I believe it was his debut or contender series fight. Didn't look the best, but ended up getting the win. Got dropped in that fight. Then in his next fight, didn't look the best against Harry Hardwick in a fight that he luckily got the TKO win because Harry Hardwick had a broken jaw at the end of round 2. I believe Curtis Campbell should fight Marwan Rahiki next. Both of these guys have a lot to prove. Marwan Rahiki, not enough power to take out a guy like Curtis Campbell on the feet, it seems. Okay. And then we like to see him get tested on the ground. Harry Hardwick almost did that multiple times. Okay, we know that Curtis Campbell is pretty solid on the ground for what we've seen against Danny Silva and in his Contender Series fights. All right. And as for Curtis Campbell, we need to test that chin, somebody that's going to put some volume on him. And we want to see how much power they really do have. Put him on Curtis Campbell. And Curtis Campbell, a chance to get back in the win column against a guy, Marwan Rahiki, who we're still quite not sure is even really that good. Both guys we're still not sure about. So Curtis Campbell and Marwan Rahiki makes sense to me. They're on similar timelines as well. Octopus, do you remember me? Says Me Rocket. And then Cosmo says Rahiki destroys Campbell. We'll see. We'll see. What do you think of the Pink Panther? I'm not sure yet. I saw some stuff on the ground that made me confident that if he gets somebody down, that he could control them and possibly get a sub. I've seen a little bit on the feet in the past few fights where he looks pretty decent. It's just his defense that needs some help. His head placement needs some help because remember at the beginning of that fight, I was like, he's got some interesting head placement. To start, I said that. I was like, his head placement's kind of weird, is it not? And then he gets knocked out by Danny Silva. So, yeah. Marwan Rahiki and Curtis Campbell, two relatively new guys. We get to figure out what we have in both of them. Okay. Mason Jones defeats Axel Sola via unanimous decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. I think I cooked with this one. Let me just make sure that they haven't fought before because it makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. Fuck yeah. They have not fought before. Rafa Garcia, Mason Jones. I need that. I need that. Rafa Garcia will swing and bang with you. I feel like Rafa Garcia has a lot of KOs on his record, but he simply does not. Now, Mason Jones now on a 7-fight win streak, and a win over Rafa Garcia would allow him to get an 8-fight win streak, combining a 4-fight win streak from Cage Warriors and a 4-fight win streak from the UFC. Now, keep in mind that before he left the UFC, his record wasn't even that bad. He was 1-1. Sorry, he was 1-2 and 1 or 1-2 with 1 no contest. I forget. Okay, because he lost to Ludovic Klein and Mike Davis, but he had a win over David Onama, who, by the way, is doing pretty well in the UFC to this point. David Onama is on was on a 4-fight win streak until he got TKO'd by Steve Garcia. All right. Steve Garcia, obviously, on the fucking White House card, so he's doing pretty well for himself. But yeah, Mason Jones, Rafa Garcia. The reason I like that fight is because Rafa Garcia always comes forward. Rafa Garcia seems like he tries to finish fights, even though it doesn't really go his way half the time. Looking at Rafa Garcia's record, he's coming off 2 wins, a win over Vince Bichelle and a TKO win over Jared Gordon. That would give him a solid matchup over a streaking guy. He has 17 wins, 8 by sub, 2 by knockout. We know Mason Jones is good everywhere, so that'll be tested. And we know these guys will come forward and bang, pause, the whole time. So why not? I agree. I don't think the fight would be competitive. His haircut also needs some help. Stop, Dr. Nakazu. I wish you had a skullet next haircut next time you arrive late for your stream. Can you come back with a skullet? No, but maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Rafa Garcia, Mason Jones. I like that fight. And for Axel Sola, I feel like we need another guy that'll test him, somebody that's tough but might not have enough gas in the tank left for us to be like, oh, maybe he beats him up. Maybe he doesn't. Jared Gordon, Axel Sola. I feel like Jared Gordon always takes on these guys. They're like, oh, yeah, this French guy, he's good, but how good is he? And then Jared Gordon makes us realize how good they are or how good they're not. So I feel like Jared Gordon's a good test for Axel Sola. And if not that, what about a guy like Caio Fernandez, the Brazilian? I think he had some leg kick wins, if I'm not sure. So what about Caio Fernandez for Axel Sola? I don't think we should give him any big name brand names. So I feel like that would be a solid name to give him. Now, I liked what I did here. I don't know if it makes sense per se for everyone else, but for me, I like this matchmaking that I did here. All right, here we go. We just spoke of this guy, actually. Nathaniel Wood defeats Losang Keita via split decision, 28-29, 29-28, 29-28. I think there's a name here that makes a hell of a lot of sense. A hell of a lot of sense. A name Huh. Yes, a name that is in the top 15, that has been sneakily in our top 15 for a little while now, but we need to feed you. We need to feed you to someone that has been hanging around just as long, if not longer. And it just makes so much sense to me that it almost hurts. Let's look at the rankings before I say it. You see down at the bottom there, just above Josh Emmett, that's the name that I want. That's the name that I want. I'm talking about Nathaniel Wood and David Onama. Nathaniel Wood, David Onama is the perfect next matchup. David Onama coming off that TKO loss to Steve Garcia. Okay. Needs to get back on the horse against somebody that, goes to decisions a large percentile of the time. So it would be helpful for David Onama to fight someone like that. And as for Nathaniel Wood, well, he finally needs to fight somebody with a fucking number next to their name and win. I need Nathaniel Wood fighting for that number 14 spot against David Onama. It also gives him a chance to get a finish finally because David Onama just got knocked out by Steve Garcia. This is a perfect matchup. I don't think there's any other matchup that makes as much sense as David Onama and Nathaniel Wood at featherweight. Book it. As for Losane Keita, I feel like I have a banger in mind, but this guy hasn't fought in a while, and I don't even know where his career is, where it hangs in the balance at this point, but seems like so much fun to me. What about Losane Keita and Hakeem Dawodu? That sounds like so much fun if Hakeem is still in the UFC and willing to take a fight. Two young guys, fast guys, bangers at 45s. Losane Keita, Hakeem Dawodu. And if we can't do that, we'll give him the classic 45-35 test that we've been giving out. Christian Rodriguez, Losane Keita. Christian Rodriguez will mix it up very well. We'll try to make Losane Keita work off his back, slow the fight down, work his game as opposed to let Losane Keita work in his space. That makes sense to me. So, yeah, one of those two matchups. But Hakeem Dawodu, Losane Keita sounds like so much fun for me. Oh, Lazy says Dawodu is in the Canadian promotion PFL. Well, if he comes back, that matchup makes sense. Losane Keita. He probably won't, though. No offense to him. It's just how the game goes sometimes. What about Super Sadiq Youssef? Wow. I like Super Sadiq Youssef instead of Hakeem Dawodu. That's a good matchup as well because I believe he just fell out of the rankings, right? He just fell out of the top 15. Yeah. Super Sadiq Youssef is out of the top 15, and I don't think he is staying up at 55. If he stays at 45, then yeah, Sadiq Youssef would be a solid matchup as well. Let's move on. Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco via unanimous decision, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Vitor Petrino or Mick Parkin. I need to see this guy in the top 15. He's part of this new school heavyweight class, right? So is Vitor Petrino. So is Mick Parkin. All these guys are kind of floating near each other, kind of slowly getting closer to each other at the bottom of the top 15 at heavyweight. One of those matchups makes sense for me. A Vitor Petrino, a Mick Parkin, something like that. And as for Felipe Franco, he got a tough test in Mario Pinto, but I liked what I saw out of him in this one. Let's give him a test of an old heavyweight that's still hanging around, that needs his last fight before we kick him to the curb. No offense to him. But a Dontel Mays makes sense for Felipe Franco for me. A Dontel Mays, a guy like that. A guy that's like, we wouldn't really book him with anyone, but we'd give him to someone. Dontel Mays versus Felipe Franco, because I kind of like what I've seen out of Felipe Franco, his physique, his game that he brings to it. He seems like he could be a solid staple at the fringe 15 heavyweight ranks. So I wouldn't mind seeing him against a guy like that. Monta Contreras defeats Antonio Tricoli via unanimous decision, 30-27, 29-27, 29-27. We have two of these guys hanging around the same weight class. I'd like to test one of them, and I would like to test the younger one. How about a Cesario Oleksiejczuk against Monta Contreras fight? That sounds like a banger. Do it not? Do it not? Monta Contreras, Cesario Oleksiejczuk. And if you don't like that, what about like an Andre Muniz so we could give him a grappler's test? Because we know Andre Muniz would try to take him down and grapple him. We've seen it happen to him. Tricoli did it to him in round 3. Andre Muniz with a fantastic submission game. I mean, he subbed fucking Jacare, bro. Imagine him trying on the back of Contra Javicius. So that's a solid matchup as well. Cesario Alexejczyk, if you want to do another strikers matchup or a strikers matchup, and Andre Muniz, if you want to do another grapplers matchup against him. And as for Tricoli, we got to cut him, man. We got to cut him. I know. I mean, great showing in round 3. Fantastic showing in round 3. Just, I have not seen anything that tells me that this guy needs to be here. I just haven't seen anything. Not at all. Not one little thing. So I would just, go that Joe Ban route, maybe a little Brazil desk action. I don't know, man. Just the UFC is not for you. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Brando Pericic defeats Louis Sutherland via TKO punches. Round 1, 1 minute and 48 seconds. Let's just figure out who's the best in that region. Justin Tafa, Brando Pericic. Fuck it, make him fight. And if not, throw Hamdi Abdel Wahab in there. Fuck it, we haven't seen him in a while, right? Hamdi Abdel Wahab, I wouldn't mind that. All right. Lazy bet. I can't believe you messed that up. You must be casual. I am. How bad is Tricoli? Says Dr. Ned Cashew. If I had to put him on a grading scale, he'd be failing. He'd be probably like a 61. He'd be near passing. Like, damn, bro. Like 4 more points, he would pass. But no, he's failing for me. He's failing. Yeah, like a 60, 61 rating. Oh yeah. Hamdi Abdel Wahab for Brando Pericic if we're not doing the Justin Tafa matchup. And Lucas Brzeski for Louis Sutherland. Keep it in that region. I believe Brzeski's Polish. Keep him in the Europe region, Eurasian region. Okay. And that's the matchup I see that. We're not matchmaking for Abdul Karim El Zawahiri and Shamrock. It'll just piss me off. I don't want to see either of those two fight next. All right. I'm done with both of those guys. This guy came off a 2-year layoff and had the fight of his life against Shamrock, who I was looking to see finally put a good performance together. And Shamrock fails again. So, give him contender series, guys. I don't care. But somebody I need to matchmake for appropriately. And there's 2 ladies that I'd love to see her against. Chanel Dyer defeats Ravina Oliveira via TKO head kick, round 2, 1 minute and 17 seconds. I need Chanel Dyer and Stephanie Luciano. Stephanie Luciano also has a win over Ravina Oliveira, so this is kind of lazy matchmaking. Not really. It's kind of they're on a crash course for each other. Okay. So Stephanie Luciano, Chanel Dyer. All right. Love to see that matchup. If we're not doing that, Ketlin Souza has some hands on her. We just seen her display those hands. What about a Ketlin Souza Chanel Dyer matchup? Now, Chanel proving that she's going to be something to watch in the UFC. Absolutely. So I don't want to throw her too fast, man, because if you look at them rankings, it gets crazy real quick. You start off at Angela Hill, and then before you know it, you're at fucking who is it? You start off at Angela Hill on Easy Street. No offense to Angela, and then you end up you're fighting Tabitha Ricci at number 7. You're like, wait, what the fuck just happened? You're fighting Fatima Klein at number 11. You're like, whoa. Well, I thought we were doing the slow play here. What the fuck just happened? Why are we getting Fatima Klein right now? So it gets tough real quick at strawweight. So that's what I'm saying. Let's not give her top 15ers real quick. Yeah, let's give them fringers out there, them Ketlin Souzas. We're not thinking Denise Gomez yet. We're still thinking Ketlin Souzas. All right, so that's where our head's at with her. And as for Ravina Oliveira, give her Ming Shi. We know she has a high knockout ratio. We know Xing Mi has some freaking hands on her, sending ladies to the hospital. What about that matchup? Gives them both a matchup to shine, both an opportunity to shine, I should say. And if not, give her somebody boring that she can look good and get back in the column like Konklak Sufi Sar or something. I like that. But those are all the matchups I have for you for UFC London. All right. Those are all the matchmakings that I could make. But there was another card, wasn't there? There was another MMA card that we got to talk about, gang, and we got 15 minutes to do it. before MK starts. That's right. We got to matchmake for PFL Madrid, gang. We got to do it. We got to do it. I'm the guy. I'm the guy. If ain't nobody going to do it, I'm going to do it. Okay. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I wouldn't go to the site if I were you because it's one of the most dog shit sites I've been to in a while. No offense to them, but you got to fix your website. It's crashed my laptop twice yesterday just by being on it. The PFL website, or at least the PFL rankings, when I go to them on the website, man, this shit's been slowing my computer down like a motherfucker. But being who I am, I'm still going to bring it to you, peoples. And here you go. Take a gander at the PFL rankings currently. All right. Now, this is where we're going to be looking at because we're going to be looking at middleweight first. Because as we know, in the main event for the middleweight championship, Costello Van Steenis defeated Fabian Edwards via KO elbows, round 3, 1 minute and 48 seconds. And we have a matchup upcoming with some guys at the top of the middleweight division. That would be, well, pretty perfect for me. And a rematch if one of these guys won. Now, in PFL Pittsburgh this upcoming weekend, we have Johnny Eblen and Brian Battle. If Johnny Eblen wins, this would be a chance to get a rematch against a guy he would have beaten if he hadn't been subbed in round 5. So Johnny Eblen was winning that fight against Costello Van Steenis until he got subbed in round 5. That rematch would be on the table if he won at PFL Pittsburgh. And if Brian Battle won, sitting in that 9 spot, as you can see, if he somehow jumped his way up to the number 1 contender spot after beating Johnny Eblen, well, Costello Van Steenis versus Brian Battle sounds like a fun fight to me. So that would be solid. I like the winner of PFL Pittsburgh's main event. As for the loser, I think the loser of that event would be a suitable matchup for Fabian Edwards. I know that knockout didn't do well for him, but Fabian Edwards, Johnny Eblen makes sense to me. Or we could do the winner of the Impa Kasanganay and Dalton Rasta fight. So if Dalton Rasta wins, we could do Rasta, Fabian Edwards. If Impa Kasanganay fights, we could do Kasanganay, Fabian Edwards. Just know that we have a lot of rematches on the horizon. The middleweight depths in the PFL aren't as deep as we think. The same guys keep winning, so the same guys keep fighting. It is what it is. It is what it is, baby. These are the games we play. Let's talk about Costello Van Steenis. PFL hired Lug as their web designer, and then Gaff. I was looking into PFL Boston yesterday, and I could barely find any mention of it. I was gonna look into tickets, but their website didn't even list it. Damn. Yeah, PFL Boston. I would consider going to that, especially as media. I'll get I'd shoot my credentials in there. Be like, yo, can we cover this shit? Like, what up? But it is what it is. Co-main event, AJ McKee defeats Adam Boric via unanimous decision, 30-27, 29-28, 29. Sorry, 30-27. So looking at these rankings, scrolling back up, as you can see, AJ McKee sitting under Timur Khizriev, who's the number 1 contender. Obviously, that would be the next matchup. I thought Khizriev got a belt. Did he not? Did I not see him get a belt this year? Am I tripping on that? I could have sworn I seen him get a belt. Because wasn't it like Mavlid Kabulaev who like popped and then he was the champ and now he can't? Am I tripping off that? But anyways, yeah, AJ McKee, Timur Khizriev. That's the only fight that I'd like to see at featherweight. It's the fight that needs to happen. Can AJ use his anti-wrestling and his striking to stay on the feet against Khizriev? Can Khizriev take AJ McKee down like we've seen AJ McKee work off his back? We've seen. And as for Adam Boric, look in that 5 spot, newly added to the rankings right under him. Salamat Isbalayev. I've seen him display some heavy hands, some good ground and pound. I'd like to see him and Adam Boric go at it next. All right. I'd like to see him and Adam Boric. Adam Boric with a solid showing at the end of that bout. Didn't look terrible. Salamat Isbalayev, Adam Boric. Guys, I'm not going to be matchmaking for every single fight on this PFL card because that would be absolutely crazy to do. But I do have 5 more fights that I've matchmade for you. Okay? At welterweight, Franco Tenaglia defeats Yassine Najid via TKO injury, round 2, 5 minutes. Okay. For Franco Tenaglia, we got to give him somebody that's not quite in the PFL stable just yet. Somebody kind of on the fringe that's entering. So I'm thinking somebody from the PFL Manas or the PFL Europe, something like that. Because he didn't have a great showing. He came out really strong, got taken down by a 41-year-old man and controlled, and then started to come back around too, but didn't look amazing. And then got saved in a fight that probably wasn't going to go his way from an injury. So I'd like to see him face somebody that actually is good so we could see what we actually have in this guy, because I don't think it's a lot. I like to see him face Muhammad Al-Akhra from PFL Mana, who's very solid, who main evented over or co-main evented over there. Great grappling, fights out of AKA. Yeah, Muhammad Al-Akhra and Franco Tenaglia at welterweight. As for his opponent, retirement. Brother, you're 41 and dislocated your shoulder in a fight you were winning. Retire. Okay. You looked good. You have like a dislocated shoulder or a broken collarbone at 41. Retirement. All right. At strawweight, Jacinta Austen defeats Benita Van Roy via TKO punches. Round 1, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. This may be a surprise to you guys, but there are not a lot of strawweights in the PFL. So I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know if they did this bout because of who she is and, the abilities that she had. But there are not a lot of strawweights in the PFL. If you go ahead and look at these rankings, you can see there's only one women's division, and it's flyweight. Okay, so I don't know if she's going to move up. I don't know if this is the start of a strawweight division in the PFL, because when I look at rankings, and there's only one rankings tab, and this is the only place it brings us here, we only have a flyweight rankings. So, yeah. Interestingly enough, also something I have a gripe about. Why is Thad Jean in the 2 spot to Shamil Masaev, who's never held the belt in the PFL? Why is Thad Jean not in the 1 spot, who has a fucking belt? Disrespect to our fucking champion. What the fuck was that? What the fuck is that, actually? Thad Jean is not your number 1 contender for somebody that retired after beating Shamil Masaev? Stupid as fuck. That's really bad to me. I don't know what the hell was going on there. PFL sucks so bad at actually promoting. Did you know Brian is battles fighting this week? You know what I'm saying? MVP is motivated to prove Dana wrong by staying classy and winning his way. If the UFC tried to squash him with a nightmare matchup, who is the opponent he'd actually beat to ruin their plans? Well, wasn't it Ian Machado Gary? Is that not it? Who would be the guy to ruin their plans for MVP? They'd probably put in like a guy like Usman to ruin his plans, or like a guy like Bilal, but I think he beats both of them. MVP beats both Usman and Bilal, because MVP just dances around. Usman slowly plods. If he gets the takedown, yeah, but I feel like MVP would do too much on the feet by the time Usman got the takedown, especially at this age. I know he got the takedown on Buckley, but Buckley's slower and stands in front of you, tries to swing heavy shots. MVP's constantly moving, harder to take down. Same thing for Bilal Muhammad. We've seen Bilal use Canelo hands the whole time. So I feel like MVP could be both those guys. Wheels up. Did they say when Dakota Fanning is fighting next? No, not yet. That Gene doesn't bring in Arab dollar bills, y'all. They have an opponent for her, I believe. What was it, Liz Carmouche or whatever? Whoever won. And they were like, oh, you won. Your next opponent is Dakota. I forget who it was. But yeah, your next opponent's book's just not her next fight. 3 fights left. Let's go. Lynn Vassell defeats Jose Augusto via TKO punches. Round 2, 2 minutes and 48 seconds. I only want to see a title shot for Vadim Nemkov and Linton Vassell. They surprisingly have never fought. They have surprisingly never fought at heavyweight or light heavyweight. They're kind of similar guys, too. This would be a grappler's test at heavyweight for Nemkov. You know what I mean? This would be a perfect title shot. Grappler's test at heavyweight. The fight never happened at light heavyweight. Linton Vassell, Vadim Nemkov title. I need that. I need that. Simple as pie. Nothing else makes sense. Okay. Do you need me to show you the rankings? Nothing. Oh God. I'm in the. How'd this happen? How'd that happen? Yeah. Go ahead and look at that. What weight class are we talking about again? Oh yeah, light heavyweight. I mean heavyweight. Yeah. Henan Fajeda just lost by sub to Vadim Nemkov, Oleg Popov, then it's Goltsov, then Linton Vassell. Linton Vassell, baby. Linton Vassell, Vadim Nemkov. I want that. I want that next. I need that next. And then for Jose Augusto, give him Rodrigo Nascimento. Just give him Rodrigo Nascimento. I don't care if he has a fight booked or not. Give him Rodrigo Nascimento. 2 fights left. Luciano Pereira defeats Kevin Cordero via KO punches. Round 1, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I need to see him crack the bantamweight top 10, top 15. I need to see him fight Kieran Clark. Kieran Clark. I need Luciano Pereira and Kieran Clark. And if we're not doing that, Mata Giordano got a win that he didn't deserve on this card. Punish him with facing Luciano Pereira. Punish him with Luciano Pereira, please. That was not his win. Mata Giordano did not win that fight. So, Luciano Pereira. And as for Kevin Cordero, give him Ernesto Chisano. Ernesto Chisano won that fight against Mattia Giordano. So, Ernesto Chisano. They fought on the same card, similar timelines. Kevin Cordero, Ernesto Chisano. And last but not least, my matchmaking for Gino Van Steenis defeats Mark Ewan via KO punch. Round 1, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. All right. Let's matchmake for Mark Ewan first. For Mark Ewan, you know who I like? Mark Jacasey. They're 55ers. Makes sense to me. Give me Mark Jacasey, Mark Ewan. Give me Mark versus Mark, baby. Give me Mark versus Mark. Mark D versus Mark E. Give it to me. Give it to me at 55s. These guys are both coming off KO losses. Mark Jacasey, Mark Ewan. All right. As for Gino Van Steenis, I like 2 names for my guy. I like Jacob Kasuba, fighting on the PFL Europe, PFL main scene, that kind of guy. One of those guys that kind of tells you where somebody's stature is. Is he above Jacob Kasuba or is he below Jacob Kasuba? Because he's a good litmus test in that division. Okay, so Jacob Kasuba, if you want to test Gino again, but I kind of see what we have with Gino Van Steenis, and I kind of want to give him a name. I kind of want to give him Derek Kelly. I want to give him the grappler and Derek Kelly. Okay, because Gino Van Steenis just put some hands on Mark Ewan. I'd like to see Derek Kelly. We've seen Derek Kelly get touched up before. Another name value, both from a similar region over there. Not too hard to book a fight between those two, Gino Van Steenis and Derek Kelly. And that completes my matchmaking for both UFC London and PFL Madrid. I hope you guys enjoyed the matchmaking I did on this Monday. If you haven't already, check in all the other programs that we have on this channel, TKO Tuesday, Hump Day, CP Units. We do a live chat on Sundays before everybody else does their live chat. So if you're so inclined, go ahead and check that out. We just did episode 72 yesterday. I appreciate everybody that pulled up to the chat, showing love. Cosmo, Octopus, Meat Rocket, Wheels Up, Dr. Ned, Kevmo, Lazy, Louis Bond, all the others, Richland, John Ray, all the guys that catch the shit afterwards. Appreciate you all. Again, if you like the content, don't forget to like the video below on your way out before you go to MK. Subscribe to the channel. You can scan that QR code right there. It'll subscribe you to the channel, to the YouTube. All right. We're trying to get to 800. It's a slow rise, but we're trying to take it easy, baby. Trying to take it easy. So please don't forget to follow on social. That's where we put out the social cutdowns. That's where we put out the parlays, all that. Fuck you, Elon. It's one more round F8 on X. Don't forget to follow. We're putting belt to ass on the main card minute. All right. It's 11 o'clock. Go ahead and enjoy yourself some MK. Go ahead and enjoy yourself some Ariel and all the other bigger, MMA news outlets. Appreciate you guys for always checking out the little guy. I'll see you guys. Enjoy the rest of the week. TKO Tuesday tomorrow.
then you will deny I'm a sick talent. Whole music industry is imbalanced. I just managed to smoke weed and get panties and I pull. Cause I'm really not a chick magnet, but I'm cool. I am back at it. Love crime, I have savage. I already lost my mind and I crash planets. Yes, I do it all the time and I can't stand it. I am back at it. Yeah, high like a crack addict, but I'm really on my grind. I ain't outlandish. I'm just steady trying to fly cause I'm now stranded. I am back at it. Love crime, I have savage. I already lost my mind and I crash planets. Yes, I do it all the time and I can't stand it. I am back at it. Yeah,